Hi, my name is Courtney, and I'm very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. I know because I used to do it, but everything fell apart for me about a year ago because of a medication that I was on. And of course, nobody knew that was going to happen, but it did. So I'm having to rebuild. And a big part of that rebuilding for me is strength work. I hate it. I hate it. And part of the reason why I hate it, honestly, is I know for a fact that I'm capable of lifting more, of doing more than I can currently do. I have a lot of fascia problems, and our fascia is what allows our muscles to glide over each other. Well, if your muscles don't glide, lifting can become very challenging very quickly. And me being the kind of person that I am, I don't care how beginning a program was, I'd start it, I'd push myself too hard, I'd injure myself, and I'd get mad and I'd quit. Well, because now I'm injured too, right? But I knew I needed to do it. So I found a strength program that is it's so ridiculously beginner. And if I stop and think about it from that perspective, I can get really frustrated with it. But is being a beginner really something to be frustrated about? Is it really all that awkward, or is it just an awkward is it, you can make this liberating. This is your chance to get off of autopilot. We do so much of our day goes by on autopilot. We get up, we have pretty much the same routine. You go make your coffee or your breakfast, you brush your teeth, you take your shower, you've got your routines. All that's on autopilot. But if when you're looking at something that is a new experience for you, or maybe one that you're having to revisit and start over from the beginning, you can look at it from, oh, this sucks. I don't want to do this. This is awkward. I'm not very good at it. Or you can embrace the experience and grow. This information, by the way, is from, I love the name of this website, a greatmood.com. Isn't that fabulous? Anybody who knows me well knows that that's totally up my alley. But how do you embrace being a beginner? How do you adapt your thinking from this sucks and I'm not very good at it to, hey, this is really cool and I can learn something? Well, it's a mental shift. It's that simple and that complicated. You have to learn how to embrace your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. It happens. Anything worth learning, you're going to go through a growth cycle. Very few people kind of sit down at a piano and play a piano beautifully. Very few people are going to get up off the couch and do Insanity or P90X or whatever speaks to you. You have to you have to accept the fact that, okay, like for me when I started dancing, I exercise at home. I have for years. A lot of that is because of my health issues, and a lot of that is because I hate the cold, and I ain't going to a gym in the flipping cold. But when I first started dancing, or even now when she puts out a new choreography, I could get frustrated with it and that I don't know it, or I can laugh at my mistakes and it's a growing experience. It's a learning experience. Like anytime you make a mistake, it's not a failure. It's just feedback. That's all it is. So embrace your mistakes. Learn to laugh at yourself. Life will be a lot better if you learn how to laugh at yourself. Number two, find something that you love. If you really want to embrace being a beginner, find something that you love. Why? Because when you really love something, you're going to get so caught up in it. You're going to quit worrying about, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? You're just going to do it. Side note, that's another advantage to exercising at home. I don't have any of that judgment crap. I don't have anybody around me to make me feel, well, any kind of way. It's when I exercise, even doing this new strength program, if I allow myself to embrace it, I can get really caught up in it and the time will fly by. That brings me to point number three. You have to start where you are. Look, I've done P90X. I've done Insanity. I would love to do P90X again. I'm not there. I'm just not there right now for a multitude of reasons. This very beginner's program, there's no equipment involved. It's all body weight. Um, and it's really nice for me because it's just the one person demoing the exercise. and that's it. I don't it doesn't ignite my competitive that's my problem with a lot of like home a lot of home weight loss or weight training, good grief, weight training programs. They have people, of course, doing different weights and different modifications. I always want to be up there with the top guy, with the strongest person in the video. I'm not there. I have to just embrace where I'm at. I have to accept where I'm at. I'm not going to get back to that level if I don't accept that I'm a beginner right now. Just is what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, it does suck. But you know what? I am learning. There's some exercises in these workouts that they give me. They give me 3 strength training things a week. They're really short, y'all. They're super short. It's amazing how much of an impact it's had on my body just because my body's temperamental. But they're really short. They're not a big deal. But they do the strength training 3 days a week, and then there's a really short. I call it mobility work that I do through this app 7 days a week, and it really has been so good for my shoulders in particular. I have so many problems with my shoulders, but oh my gosh, I have no idea where I was going with that. Yeah, it's a rough day. I only slept for about 3 hours last night, and I'm too old for that. I just am. But don't reinvent the wheel. Seek advice. Ask questions. It's the fastest way that you're going to learn. Look, if there's something that you want to accomplish, whether you do want to start a strength training program, maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe you want to learn how to underwater basket weave. Ask questions. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Someone else has already gone down that path and learned how to do it. Ask them, seek their advice. If you can't ask them personally, you know what? If there's a skill you want to learn, you can get online and find out so much freaking information for free. Just look it up. Then you can start narrowing down your questions to ask people. And you know what? Social media can be a great resource for that. Now, obviously, you can't believe everything that people tell you, but use your judgment. It tends to be pretty obvious if someone's just BSing you. But ask questions. Be teachable. Number 5, tell your ego to stuff it. Look, the reason why change is so hard is our fragile little egos. I don't care how good something is for you, whether it be starting a strength program, whether it's starting a nutrition plan, I don't care what it is. Your ego is going to be like, do we really need to do that? You know why? Because you've made it this far. Your ego is concerned with your survival. Anything that gets out of your comfort zone, may not be a good idea. It's a good idea. Tell your ego to shut the hell up. Number 6, embrace your inner child. Children love new opportunities. They love new experiences. It's so sad that we lose that. And we lose that in large part due to our stupid egos because we get so self-conscious and embarrassed. Years ago, I used to teach cardio kickboxing. It was a brief stint, but I did teach cardio kickboxing. And I always said I would never want to teach kids. But I tell you what, I had these 2 little girls that would come to my class. They were hands down my favorite people I've ever taught. They did not give a single damn what anybody else thought. They just got out there, did their thing. They were so cute and so much fun. And I try to think about them when I'm facing something as a beginner. I try to think about that just carefree, who gives a damn attitude. They were just being themselves. They were in the moment. One of them was really cute. The more outgoing one, cheeky little thing. I loved it though. She was so cute. One day she just popped up in the front of the class with me and started calling. She knew how I would call the class. So she started calling some of the stuff with me. It was so funny. I was like, hey, you're too young to work here. Quit trying to steal my job. I wonder about those kids often. I hope they're doing well. Gosh, that was a long time ago. They're young ladies now. Dang. Anyway, embrace your inner child. Kids have such a wonderful approach to tackling new projects. That being said, you got to have a reality check. Look, if you're a couch potato, you're really unlikely to get up and go run a marathon in a month. But you know what? You can get up and start doing There's a great program if you want to run called Couch to 5K. Side note, I cannot do it. The fibromyalgia demons absolutely do not like running, but it is a great program. You can start that, and you know what? No, you won't be running a marathon in a month, but you'll be a hell of a lot further than you are now. Just set small goals. And when you hit that small goal, then you build a bigger one and you build a bigger one and you just keep going until you can run that marathon or whatever it is that you're going for. Finally, number 8, you got to get moving. Time passes. Look, I've been dealing with this absolutely insane health crap for over a year. And, I spent the first several months of it, I spent more than the first half of it, honestly, feeling so sorry for myself that I was dodging responsibility for what I needed to do. I was dodging the responsibility to take care of my nutrition. I was dodging the responsibility to do the strength work that I know I need to do. You need to really work on that gap. You get that idea, I'm gonna go do this. And you're really excited. And a little time passes and your excitement fades. And a little more time passes and your excitement fades. And next thing you know, so much time has passed, you've never gotten started. You need to close that gap between your thought, your desire, and your actions. Because otherwise, it's just always going to be someday I'll. No, you're not. Soon as you start that someday I'll, no, you're not. You know it as well as I do. And then my little tip, honestly, you got to love yourself enough to embrace being a beginner. You have to love yourself enough to set your BS ego aside. You have to fall in love with learning. If you don't, I don't care what you're trying to learn. If you're not growing, you're not living. You have to learn something. You have to grow in some way, whether it be, well, I would argue your physical health does grow your mental health, but there's so many things that you could explore out there. I hope you love yourself enough to do it and to embrace the fact that you are going to suck at first. It just happens. Look, you didn't get up and walk the first time you tried, right? Where would you be if you didn't keep at it? That's what I mean. Our silly little egos get in the way and they stop us from doing so much. Anyway, I am so freaking tired. I feel horrible and I want to go because I don't know how much sense I've made today, but hopefully I got my points across. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon and I will be back Friday at 11 o'clock.